I'm Fabio Cavalera, Corriere della Sera, Italy. There are five main issues on the table of G20. The reform of IMF, the fiscal stimulus, the boost of international trade, the global coordination, and the package for poor countries. But just one day to discuss. Are you confident that it will be sufficient?
Well, I think that there is sufficient common ground for this to be a summit that has real achievement. People don't just want words, they want actions. Actually, one of the issues that you missed is the financial regulatory issues. And I think that the working groups that have been looking at these 47 different, very detailed issues of financial regulation, some of them to do with membership of the Financial Stability Forum, so that it's better balanced, others to do with the way regulatory systems are aligned around the world. Those are very practical things that need to be resolved. I think that on the macroeconomic side, also practical things. And I am confident that we've done not just one day's work, but a lot of work in preparation. All the countries represented here have had their governments, their leaders working. The Prime Minister today is in New York, but he'll be traveling to South America tomorrow. He's going to Brazil and to Chile to emphasize that this is a summit which is a real test of whether or not international politics can respond to what is an international economic crisis. And I said yesterday at the Foreign Office Leadership Conference that the world was unbalanced. It was unbalanced environmentally. It was unbalanced economically between savers and debtors, between rich and poor, but it was also unbalanced politically because there was national politics but international economics. And this G20 London Summit is a chance to try to address that.
Yeah, and what are the main difficulties on the way?
Well, I'm not going to give a running commentary on the sort of discussions that are happening on the detailed questions. I think the biggest difficulty is this is a fast-changing situation. The shape of the economic crisis today is not the same as the shape of the economic crisis when the London Summit was agreed upon in November. So that means that we've got a moving target. And nations are making decisions, some of which are having impact, some of which have yet to have impact. But the most difficult thing structurally is that it's a moving target, and the length and the breadth and the depth of this economic crisis is only slowly becoming evident.
G8 or G20, which is the future of a global summit?
Well, it can't just be the 8. It can't just be the 8 because the 8 is only the richest countries. And we've seen that in respect of G8 plus 5 last year and the year before, and G20 is further demonstration of that. That doesn't mean the G8 doesn't have a role. And Italy is chairing the G8. It's developed an ambitious agenda for the Leaders' Summit and for the Foreign Ministers' Summit. Those are valuable occasions when countries can come together and work together. I spoke to Franco Frattini last Monday in Brussels about the agenda that he's putting together. What's interesting is that he's got a good agenda for the G8, but he's also got an outreach by the G8. And that's the balance that needs to be achieved.
And this is an issue for China. What, in your opinion, the position of China about this issue?
Well, they have quite a forward position on energy efficiency, very forward commitments, and they have said very clearly they want to commit themselves to the Copenhagen process, the UN process, to get a successor to the Kyoto negotiations, which is in December. And so I think we should recognise what's going on in China, quite a big change.